we are doing my first fight night card that I've ever done on this channel. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm not going to talk too much on what I think about this card in comparison to UFC 312 very much, because I think we all understand that 312 is probably the worst pay-per-view we've gotten in maybe ever, and this card is way better. Like, it's not even close. Just figured I'd point out the obvious really quick, and then we can move on. But what are we doing? You know, come on. Can we please, like, I don't even know, man. Let's just get into it. Hamdi Abdel Wahab versus Jamal Pogues. Hamdi is, he popped for steroids, and he's like back now. I don't know, man. I don't know how. Also, heavyweight. What are we doing? Again, it's just fat guys, man. It's just fat guys. Oh my god. But I mean, Abdel Wahab is on steroids. He's popped for steroids before. There's not much to go off of. Neither of these guys have really shown much in their past matchups. I'm gonna go with Abdel Wahab. I'm decently confident just because he has popped for steroids and they're just letting him back. He's 5-0. I don't know, man. The lower parts of heavyweight are always hard to judge. Yeah, he beat Dontel Mays in his last fight. It got overturned because he popped. Takedown threat's gonna be there. I think Jamal Pogues isn't very good. Next up, Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Originally, when I saw this fight being made, I didn't know very much about Bogdan Grad. I know he's had a couple fights on the Contender Series. I thought Lucas Alexander looked he looked really good in his last fight, and then I think there was like a scramble or something, and then he got clipped on his way up with a big overhand and he went down. It was against who was that against? Jeka Saragi or something. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Landing a kick and used that. Oh, he said again.
Like, it looked kind of fluky to me, the way that he'd lost that fight. And it was early on in the fight, but he was winning the exchanges and he was landing heavy calf kicks. Originally, when I saw this, I went and I watched a couple Bogdan Grad fights, and Bogdan Grad's leg was getting eaten up quick in his first fight, or in the first fight that I watched by him. And I was like, oof, Lucas Alexander he chews up legs. And Bogdan Grad doesn't know how to check a kick, it seems. So originally I was like, Lucas Alexander is going to get this done. I don't think so anymore. Bogdan Grad is a big in the sense that he's like a thick dude. And Lucas Alexander likes to use range in order to win. He likes keeping people at bay, almost like an Izzy. Bogdan Grad has that, he has that factor where you have no fucking idea what's coming. In one of his fights, he was getting the shit kicked out of him. He got taken down, and then they got up, and he flying kneed the dude out cold.
Bogdan doing a great job of...
It was like, he has that kind of weird, you don't know what's coming. And Lucas Alexander has shown it before that in those moments, he's susceptible to being put away. Like after that scramble against Sergey, or I don't know, I'm not even going to keep trying. I'm going to take Bogdan Grad, not the highest in confidence, just because who knows? Maybe Lucas Alexander is able to keep him at bay with a leg kick, with a teep. I don't know. I'm going to take my chances with a slight underdog. All right, Jasmine Jasdavicius versus Mayra Buena Silva. Jasdavicius has looked good recently. She's on kind of a roll, so I understand her being a favorite. But Mayra Buena Silva has shown that she can hang with the top people in the division. I just don't know if Jasdavicius is there necessarily. This is kind of a hard fight to judge. Also, so I don't have a lot to say other than I think that the experience in the UFC for Silva against higher level competition in the women's divisions is going to play a factor. Also, I think Silva's a 135er. Am I wrong about that? Yeah, she's a bantamweight. And she's going down. I think the size advantage is also going to play a role, so I'm going to go with another underdog. Not a big one, but either way. I think the experience will play a factor. Not crazy confident either. I think she can get it done. Next up, Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadzovic. Damir Hadzovic fucking sucks. I don't know how he hasn't been cut. I don't know. He's 38, and I'm pretty sure, I'm going to look. I think he's lost a shit ton in a row. He's 1-3 in his last 4. He's been in the UFC for almost a decade now, and he hasn't shown any sort of improvement, really. The athleticism of Terrence McKinney is obviously a factor in all of his fights. People remember Terrence McKinney because of the ways that he gets finished, because it's always seems to be brutal. Like, Bonfim finished him terribly.
Unbelievably right now. He sees...
Who else? Ribovich, brutal KO. He's shown that he does get finished pretty brutally at times, but I don't think Damir Hadzovic has that. I think the athleticism is going to play a factor. Terrence McKinney is, he's quick, he's fast out the gate, he's looking for a finish at all times, which a lot of times gets him in trouble, but I don't think Damir has that. I don't think he has that in him, so I think he sucks. I'm going to take Terrence McKinney. I'm pretty confident, but also the thing that is holding me back is that Terrence McKinney can't get finished, and finished bad. So, who knows? But I'm going to take Terrence McKinney. Damir Hadzovic should be cut after this if he loses. Anyways, on up the card. All right, we got Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. Again, heavyweight, man. What are we doing? You know, like, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Shamil Gaziev is actually, he's not bad, actually, from a technical standpoint. He's not completely and utter trash. His one loss was against Rosenstrike, and he gassed out in the fourth round. He was just getting the shit kicked out of him. He got tired quick, and he has success against other fat guys, but Rosenstrike's decently, and he's in okay shape. You know, he can't beat anybody who's in good shape. And Thomas Peterson's a pretty fat dude. So what has Thomas Peterson done to get a fucking contender? Oh, Thomas Peterson beat Muhammad Usman handedly to a decision, but he lost to Jamal Pogues. So, which is for those who don't know, that was the guy in the first fight that I just broke down. I don't know, man. Heavyweight is so trash, man. I continue to say it, and it's probably like listening to a broken record at this point, but I just have no interest in this. I'm decently confident in it just because Gaziev is a contender. He's fought higher ranked competition. I think that he's beaten a few guys that like he beat the shit out of Dontel Mays. This shit sucks. It sucks. I don't care. Next up, we got Fares Ziam versus Mike Davis. Mike Davis fights like once a year, and I think that benefits him a lot because he doesn't go into fights with like he pulls out if he has to, like under any circumstance. The fact that this fight is still on makes me think that he's in good shape and everything's going right for him right now. But Fares Ziam looked really good against Matt Frevola with that knee KO.
Your future of Fares Ziam.
Oh, it's tough, man. It's just tough. This is like the closest fight on the card, I think. I'm gonna take Fares Ziam. The worry is Fares Ziam has shown he can get taken down pretty easily as well. Who did he fight? He fought someone, and he was like just getting ragdolled the whole time. Puelles, he got taken down 7 times by Puelles, and then he came back and he showed not trash because he fucked up Matt Frevola really bad for like 2.5 rounds, then KO'd him. Ziam has the striking advantage in this. Mike Davis is obviously he's not bad. He's also a good striker, but I think the takedowns could play a factor, but I'm going to take Ziam because of how good he looked in the last fight against Frevola. I think the reach advantage might play a little bit of a role. Oh, man, I don't know, man. This is a really close fight. This is hard. Do not bet on this fight. I am looking forward to this, though. This is a really good matchup. I'm glad they put this together. Next, we have Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Offley. Muhammad Naimov's going to win. Offley's kind of this, he's kind of like this just tense little guy, and when he gets in the cage, he kind of just spazzes out. Khan Offley's not bad, but he is kind of, he's on the shorter side, which a lot of times doesn't benefit him, and Muhammad Naimov is, he's a very complete mixed martial artist. The reason why he is a pretty decent favorite. Yeah, man, I don't know. His last fight, he got subbed by Felipe Lima. Before that, when he fought Eric Silva, I remember that fight being really quick, if I remember that right. I'm going to look this up. Yeah, he took 44, he threw 4 shots, and he put Eric Silva out. I think the power advantage is going to hold Muhammad, is going to go to Muhammad Imavov. Khan Offley has one fight in the UFC, and he got KO'd by Myron Santos. Muhammad Imavov's going to win. I'm pretty confident about it. From what I've seen, it seems that Imavov is a more complete guy, and I think the size advantage is going to help him a lot. On up the card. Oh boy, this is hard for me. This is hard. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira is one of my top 5 favorite fighters to watch. I'll try and find a clip for you, but in Oliveira's last fight, he Rabona'd a kick. If you guys know what a Rabona is, he has these highlights that are really cool, like when he flying kneed Sopai.
Sopai's done.
Oh my God! It's Oliveira!
Obviously that was sick. When he fought Ricky Simone, it was like he found this flow state in the 2nd and 3rd round where he couldn't be touched, and he was just lighting Simone up, and it's so fun to watch. But Nurmagomedov is he's a Nurmagomedov, which, based off of this last pay-per-view, maybe that name doesn't hold as much value anymore. No, jokes, because it is only 1 loss. Originally, I was thinking, okay, Oliveira was getting taken down by Sopai a lot in their fight. He got taken down like 2 or 3 times with good consistency also from Sopai. So I was like, oh, shit. Like, the way I remember that fight going, it was like, Said's gonna shoot immediately. But then in the Ricky Simone fight, Ricky Simone shot like 15 takedowns, 10 or 15 takedowns, and he couldn't get him down really. And I remember when he did, it didn't really hold much value because he got up right away. So I think on the feet, Oliveira is probably, I think he could stand with pretty much anybody in the division, to be honest with you. I think he's that good, but he's facing his crotch-sniffing inbred. So what do we do? You know, I'm going to take Oliveira just because I like him so much. This is more of a, my feelings toward the fighters are kind of playing a role. I apologize for that, but I'm going to take Oliveira. I'm not crazy confident about it because he is, you know, look who he's fighting, but that's how I see it. This is like this is my 2nd favorite fight on the card, I would say. Next up, we've got Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I said in the Volkov versus Gone, when did I say this? I said something about Sergey. Sergey does well against a guy who's very stationary almost. He has weirdly long arms, which is why he connects so often and he puts people out, which is why Sergey kind of got fucked up so bad by Volkov. Volkov was just kind of piecing him up at range the whole time and moving, and Sergey doesn't do well with that. Like when he fought Tom Aspinall, whap, leg kick, move, get out. 1-2, outside leg kick, slip through, move, get out. Sergey couldn't find him. Eventually, Tom put him out. Rozenstruik's a really good kickboxer, but he seems to me to be a little too flat-footed, and he's on the back half of his career, so he's slowing down a little bit, especially in his last few fights. Sergey's one of the more heavy hitters we've probably ever seen. He went on like a 6-fight win streak or something of putting people out in the first round. Yeah, 6-fight win streak of first round KOs. He hits hard, really hard. Rozenstruik's been KO'd pretty bad before, obviously by Ngannou. We all remember that one.
Biggie boy. Oh!
It's over.
Rozenstruik is out!
He shows the ability to be finished, and I think that is a problem. Volkov put Rozenstruik away pretty early. Volkov couldn't put Sergey away. He kind of just beat the shit out of him the whole time. I'm going to go Sergey. I'm pretty confident that he's going to connect at some point, and it's going to be lights out. That's the way that I see it. Rozenstruik fought Tuivasa last, which went to a split decision. God knows how. It wasn't even close. Rozenstruik won that fight by so much. The fight before that, I think that was the Gaziv fight, and he KO'd him at the end of TKO'd him at the end of the 4th. He hasn't been fighting high-level competition. This is a huge jump. Huge. The way I see this, I think Sergey's going to come back with a y'all must have forgot type of thing. Like, oh, like, I'm him. I will put people to sleep. That's what I see. So I see like a 1st or 2nd round KO could end up being brutal if he switches on. I don't know. I'm going to take Sergey. I'm pretty confident in it. Next up, we've got Shara versus Michael Venom Page. This fight's weird because MVP looked good against Ian Gary on the feet. And this fight should stay standing. He looked, because Ian Gary didn't land. I don't even know if he landed like a clean punch in his fight against MVP. So it kind of threw me for like a loop. Like, holy crap! Like, can anybody hit this guy? A lot of that is from Ian Gary stands very stationary, and you can see it when he fights. His like front knee kind of like locks, and he like sits back on his back foot. He doesn't do a lot of side to side stuff, which Shara does. The way I see this fight, also Michael Venom Page is he's 170 pounds usually is what he fights at. This is 185. He's going up, so he's not gonna have a size advantage. And when MVP fought Holland, by the way, I think he lost the second round. So it was like, if Kevin Holland's landing shots on you, you know, fuck. The way I see this is I see MVP as Izzy. Shara is kind of like DDP in this sense. Shara throws some crazy shit. MVP likes his point fighting style where he'll blitz in super quick and pop back out. You can't do that when a guy's stopping your momentum before you do it. Shara throws a lot of weird shit like DDP does. Like DDP, when he fought Izzy would whap a leg kick in and then he'd go to advance and DDP would throw a huge overhand, stop Izzy's whole momentum. Izzy would back up and then reset. And he couldn't get anything off. That's how I see this. Shara threw a double spinning back fist in his last fight against Petrosian, I think is what his name is. Shit like that. Like, you're not going to be able to just point fight 1-2s the whole time, slap leg kicks, and like stay at range with Shara. Shara's going to keep you on your back foot and you have no idea what's coming. He threw like a head kick from his feet one time, or from his ass. I'm pretty sure that was him. Yeah. He threw a kick when he was like on the floor, like laying down. He like whipped up and threw a heck, like shit like that. Like, you can't win with MVP style like that, I don't think. But MVP's been doing this his whole career, has been formed off of the fact that he can blitz in and find you. Shara's shown that he can get hit. I'm gonna take Shara because it is at 185, which changes a lot of things. I'm not crazy confident because MVP he's been doing it his whole career. Like, this is what he does, is a like striker versus striker. He wins. He always finds a way to win. But it's Shara. Like, I don't know. I'll take Shara. I wouldn't bet on this fight. I think this fight is there's too many factors playing into it that I have no idea what's gonna happen. So, main event time. We've got Izzy versus Nasruddin Imavov. Imavov was one of the guys that I watched his debut fight. I saw potential, and I was like, this guy could be a problem. Yeah, because I think it was like 2019 or something, or 2020, somewhere 2020. Somewhere around there. He had his debut, and he looked good. And then he brutalized like Shabazian, I think it was, and some other guy. Then he started to make some serious jumps, and then he fucking toyed with Buckley. Personally, I thought so. I know the strike count was probably pretty close, but I thought he fucked up Buckley really bad. I thought the fight with Strickland was actually a lot closer than people think. Obviously, he put away Cannonier. I think that the difference in this fight is gonna be the grappling. Izzy has gotten taken down fairly easy recently. When Izzy was fighting Derek Brunson, who's notoriously known for being one of the better wrestlers at middleweight, Derek Brunson couldn't do shit to Izzy. Izzy's takedown defense was really good. He's not in his prime anymore. When he fought DDP, I thought he looked slow. I thought he didn't look good. I thought he looked like shit again in the Strickland fight. I thought he looked like shit in the DDP fight. He's not the same. And Imavov is young, and he's shown that he can, like, Imavov's grappling is good. He took Chris Curtis down. Chris Curtis has some of the best takedown defense. Like, that's one of the things that he, like, prides himself on, is he doesn't get taken down. Imavov took him down, if I remember correctly. Let me see. He took him down 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 takedowns he landed on Chris Curtis. Izzy's not the same, which sucks because I used to be a really big fan of Izzy when he was on the come up. That Derek Brunson fight is one of my favorite fights to ever watch. If you have time, and you haven't seen that whole fight all the way through, that fight is one of my favorite UFC fights ever, because Izzy just immediately finds a flow state so quickly. He whips like a high kick up top and follows it up with a right hand and puts him down, and it's so cool.
Brunson smiles it. Oh! With an elbow.
Oh, he's hurt, man.
Oh! Another knockdown!
What about, ladies and gentlemen? That's technique.
That's not him anymore. It's not him. Imavov's a good boxer. Izzy's boxing defense is one of his weaknesses. We saw it against Strickland when Strickland went to go throw a 1-2 down the pipe, and Izzy tried to like lean back and check hook him, and he just got put down. Shit like that. It's like prime Izzy wouldn't do that. I've seen Izzy, you know, I started watching the UFC like religiously in like 2018, which is when Izzy came into the UFC. The first fight that I saw from him was against Tavares. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I didn't watch the first Vettori fight. He was like on a day. He was different. It was a different level. He was different. He was quick. He was smart. He wasn't doing stupid shit like when his back's up against the cage, trying to lean back and throw a check hook while a guy's advancing and throwing a 1-2 down the pipe. He wasn't doing shit like that. Another thing, Imavov's really good in the clinch. Really good. Izzy sucks in the clinch. He's not good. When he lost the first fight to Pereira, that was his downfall in the 5th round. He tried to get like a tie clinch, and he was just getting lit up. Imavov's really good in the clinch. He can hold him against the cage and land short shots, and Izzy seems to not have answers for that. What I'm banking on is that Imavov has a good game plan going into this. If he doesn't, what I would do is I would just press forward, work the grappling exchanges and clinch exchanges, and I think you beat him. I think if you just straight up box, I think you're just going to get your leg kicked to death and you'll be done. But I think that's Imavov's path to victory. I am going to take Imavov, by the way. Not confident on it, because Izzy is Izzy, and I'm holding on to what I've seen in the past a little bit. If Imavov doesn't have a good game plan, which he usually does, he's going to get fucked up, I think. If Imavov isn't pressing forward looking for grappling exchanges, Izzy's going to fuck him up, because he's going to be able to keep range, feint teeps the whole time, and keep him on the back foot and counter-strike his way to a decision. I'll take Imavov, though, which is kind of weird, because that means that Izzy won't really be at the top of the division anymore, and as like an end of an era kind of thing. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Again, first fight night card. It's better than UFC 312, so I thought, I'll sit down, record. Why not? Fuck it, right? Yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. A few buttons down there. Click them, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Yeah, appreciate you guys. See you in the next one.